From Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, holiday greetings to everybody. From Atlantic Boxing Television to all of our viewers at home on ABT. Pete, it's been 16 long years since ABT first broke into production, but we're back and we're on YouTube.
They ain't seen nothing yet, John. We're on YouTube.
When fights were fights, ABT, Atlantic Boxing Television. Log on to www.atlanticboxing.com. Best holiday wishes. We hope you enjoy the fights.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Atlantic Boxing Television, I'm Peter McGowan. We're with Paul Stivaletta. Paulie, right here it says Rocky joined Stivaletta. What's that all about?
This is back in 1958 when Rocky was, I was getting some publicity, and Rocky came up from California and wanted to take over my management as a fighter. And I was had a manager at that time, but he wanted to buy me out and take me back to Las Vegas and to fight, tie me up with Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and Peter Lawford and Dean Martin, called the Rat Pack at that time. And he was going to introduce me to them and sort of sponsor me in Las Vegas to fight there. But at that time I was married and had a family here and a home and with my brothers in the construction business, and so it was kind of difficulty for me to be able to make that move with Rocky, which I wanted to in the worst way. It's a great, great honor to be with a champion of the world like Rocky, and but at that time it was just almost impossible.
Nobody can tell you that, folks. This is ABT, Atlantic Boxing Television. Paul Stivaletta is the champion of 1957 in the welterweight division. You had great fights at the Boston Garden, I guess. Is that where you won the title, Paulie?
Yes, the New England title I won at the Boston Garden. You have some of the clippings of that fight, and it was a great night. I was cut badly over both eyes, and at one moment there in the 8th round I was getting hit some solid punches, and so my head was a little fogged up, but I cleared it and came out in the 8th, and they were betting 100 to 1 I wouldn't show up for the 8th, but I came out in the 8th and took care of my opponent with 2 punches, and they couldn't revive him to the count of they could have counted to 10,000, I guess, and but he's all right. He got up at the end, and it was fine. It was a great fight, great for me to be able to experience a fight like that, especially at the Garden, because you remember during the fight, when you're punching and winning, they're all with you. And one thing you find out when you're catching some punches, the crowd changes around immediately and rooting the other guy, and it's kind of a very tough moment at that time. And but I pulled it out and came back in the 8th and became the victor and won it, and had the crowd back with me again.
And here you see the knockout. Ready? Watch that big right hand. Boom! It's all over. Atlantic Boxing Television, Peter McGowan, Paul Stivaletta, John Horrigan. Paulie, right here it shows a picture of you knocking a guy out, but on the right-hand corner, that's our state auditor.
Yes, that's Joe DeNucci and I. We both fought 2 10-round bouts heading the card at the Boston Arena. Joe fought one 10-rounder, I fought the other. He fought Roy Hamilton, and I fought Johnny Ford. And we both knocked our opponents out in the first round, and shows a picture of Joe Powell. Well, one of these days, Powell, and Joe DeNucci's knocking out Roy Hamilton, and I'm knocking out Jerry Ford. He's going through the ropes, and they put both pictures together. It was 2 first-round knockouts. Not only a great fighter, he fought for the title. He's fought Joey Giardello's. He's fought the Tiger Joneses. For some of the greatest fighters of all time, especially Emeril Griffith, one of the all-time great middleweights in the world, known to this very day as holds the records as some of the greatest middleweight fights. And then he became light heavyweight champion of the world. And Joe DeNucci fought him twice in his 2 12-round split decisions, and of course the crowd was all for Joe. It was they thought he won those fights, and I thought so too. And even Griffith at the second fight went over to the corner of Joe DeNucci and raised his hand up to say that he won it. And a fight that Joe never forgets, because that was an opportunity for Joe to be champion of the world, and he was sort of robbed that night. If you talk about a fighter being robbed, he was going to take Emeril Griffith himself to go over the corner and raise his hand after they gave the fight to Emeril Griffith. But he wasn't happy with that fight, raised Joe DeNucci's hand, fought him again, asked to fight Joe DeNucci again to give him a chance back at that title fight back at the Garden, and they fought again. They went 12 rounds, and Griffith won it by just a small margin, and so he actually took the crown back.
Wow. So, Joe DeNucci is a friend of ABT.
Yes, he is, and he can't wait to get a chance to be on ABT and to show and do a little talking about boxing and to be able to express his views on boxing and where he is today and how boxing has helped him out very much in his career. Not only as a fighter, he became a well-known fighter and made some money at it, and but that opened the doors to a lot of other things for Joe with that same type of man he was as a fighter, aggressive and determined to do well. He went out in the political world, knocking on doors, running for representative of Newton, and not only did he win, but he became a state auditor, and he is today, and he's still winning. And I think right now he's going into another strong fight again, what we call it, a campaign against a good opponent. And I'm hoping for Joe to win again for our state auditor. He's done a very good job in the past, and I guess he will in the future.